Okay, with the increase in the number of university enrollments worldwide, student housing has emerged as one of the hottest alternative assets. Yeah, you've got to house those students because you never have enough dorm rooms on campus for all the kids. According to CBRE, the sector outperformed other asset classes with a 9.6 annualized return in recent. That's pretty good for property, especially in a place like Hong Kong, where you get 0.5% yield. Analysts say student housing provides good yields, regular income, because guess what? Every year you have new freshmen. The sector has grown from a fringe investment just a decade ago to a $200 billion market now. Joining Sue and me, Kingston Lai, CEO of the Asia Bankers Club, which is launching a student accommodation investment project this week. The Shillings Yard project, not to be confused with Scotland Yard, will be based in Canterbury, in Britain. I'm sorry about that. I just had to get that in.
Yeah. I mean, these claims are really hard to believe. You're guaranteeing a yield of 10% in the first 5 years of purchase.
I want to check your math.
Me a 10% yield, is that right?
That's right, yeah. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. It's throughout the UK. This is the yield you get.
So what, if I don't get a 10% yield, you're going to give me my money back?
For this project, it's guaranteed by the developers for 5 years. So you get a rental guarantee. Yeah, but even without the guarantee, to be honest, 8 to 10% is quite simple.
Can I do some really quick math here?
Simple, saying easy, basically.
10% yield, how much? Just give me an example. What is a base, if I wanted to invest in one basic unit, what is the capital, what is the upfront
The capital
price?
You're talking about in the UK, I mean, this specific project, you're talking about £100,000. It starts from 107,000 to be precise. So,
okay. £100,000, a net of expenses, I'm going to make £10,000 a year?
Before expenses.
Okay, before.
So 8.5% basically.
Probably, yeah.
But still, I mean, these are absurd yield levels. Okay, so and who's gonna rent out these places?
Yeah, well, basically, as an owner, you will then appoint a property management company, right? So they'll manage for you, they'll do the leasing, they get it rented out to the students. It's a very attractive asset class. I mean, to give you 3 reasons why it's so popular, right? One, like you say, the investment amount, it's small, it's amazing. A lot of people can afford it. 2, you have really stable income, and you're talking about 8 to 10% a year. And number 3, I mean, most amazing thing is these students, they pay you in advance. So you get your rental like 3 months in advance, a year in advance in certain cases. So that's great. So the default risk on the students on these asset class is low in a way.
These properties, are they built like regular apartment buildings, or is there something about them that gives a flavor of, like a student accommodation, like a commons area,
co-ed bathrooms,
a ping pong room, I guess they have individual bathrooms.
They have. I mean, there are certain units which you have to share not the bathroom, but you share the kitchen, right? But most of the units they are self-contained. You have your kitchen, bathroom, everything in there. The reason why this is different from let's say a service apartment or another apartment is that it's only for students. So you can't really have non-students living there. So it gives the parents, let's say you're a parent sending your kids overseas, you feel safe because they are all students. They're no strangers.
Right. And you said that major insurance companies have been investing in these student halls for some time. And this is the first time for retail investors to get into this. But, if I'm looking to spend $100,000 of my money into these halls, I mean, why can't students go, I don't know, to live elsewhere? I mean, what guarantees do you have that they will choose to live in Shilling Hall instead of in some other, I don't know, dorm down the road?
Yeah, well, basically, the situation in the UK, right? I mean, you have a shortage of student accommodation. So the way it works is if you go to, let's say you study at the LSE or any of the universities, right? As a first-year student, you get privilege, you get priority, you get in, you get accommodation in the hall residence. But in the second year, you are out. You have to be looking for your own accommodation. So what these guys do, I was a student in the UK myself, so we have to share, a house, for example, a flat. So a few of us will rent one of these. It's probably further away from the school. We have to walk, we have to commute. But here, you're close to the school. And they are all for students.
And students only.
Students only.
And parents are going to feel good about a bunch of young students all living together. I mean, I lived in student accommodation. I mean, it was Animal House, Kingston, I got to tell you.
You had toga parties, did you?
Yeah, we made them out of bed sheets, so we didn't have to spend the money on togas. We didn't have any money. I'll show you pictures.
He's a frat boy at heart, I'm sure. All right, Kingston, good talking to you today. Kingston Lai there of the Asia Bankers Club.